Welcome back. We are on day 8 of our Cultivating Gratitude journey, and today we're focusing on what work means to us. This is all about jobs and careers and the work we provide in service to others in the world. We're going to focus on money in episode 9, but this is basically the first part, the actual work, career, what you're doing with your life in exchange for money. So we want to reflect on our sources of income, but not the income itself yet. You want to find aspects of your job or the ways that you earn money that you're grateful for. Whether it's your personal skill development, relationships formed in the work environment, or just the basic opportunity to contribute back to society, among others. So today I want you to take out your journals, your digital media. Let's start expanding on everything quote-unquote work. Now I know that kind of brings up some feelings, especially when, we don't really want to do what we're doing in life. I've had a lot of jobs that are just jobs to pay bills, right? And then figuring out what I actually wanted in life and what I was willing to work towards in terms of work and contributing. It's a personal experience, personal journey to find what kind of work works for you. And then cultivating a sense of gratitude that you're actually getting paid for being you, for having fun, doing some work that actually benefits you. While we're living in a society that, we're playing with money and rent, so we just gotta figure out how to be grateful for work. Quote unquote work. Again, this can be about a career, a job that you work for somebody else, or it can be about building your own business. Making money just by being you. But what does that mean, right? So now we're going to explore everything work. The first question to ask right now is, what do you like about your job? If there is anything to like. And if you don't have a current job, you can ask either like a hypothetical, like, what do you like about working in general? Again, keep it more maybe broad, because no one wants to work for a living, right? That's kind of like different feelings of the word work. But what do you actually like about working? Getting out in the world, doing something. Maybe instead of working, you changed it just to doing something for money. But what does it mean to you? Explore both your work time and your free time. We find balance between the two, being grateful for all these possibilities in life is the key. So we want to ask the universe more of what we actually want in terms of gratitude, even if we don't have it yet. So in this work exploration category, you may want to do more hypotheticals, your dream jobs, your dream experiences in quote-unquote work. Being grateful that this thing just, exists, whether, it's a painting opportunity, a writing opportunity, a building opportunity, a connection opportunity, a sales opportunity. Just kind of exploring everything about work and what it means to you. So, let's dive in. Grab your piece of paper and pen. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my piece of paper here and expand a little bit on work. So for me, I am going to go with the general question, like, what do I like about my job or just jobs in general? In the center, you can start with an affirmation or just a category of work. So what would I like to do, expand on? I'll just do simple jobs, jobs, careers, everything, all of my experiences in my life for working jobs. Not sure if careers are dead, side note, but anyway, I've had a lot of jobs that I thought would be careers that are not. So, what am I grateful for? Going back to, the general concepts like personal skill developments, relationships formed, and contribution opportunities as the main three. Work is something to kind of really sit with yourself and figure out what you actually like about it. I mean, there's something we have to find about it, honestly, at this moment in time. Even as the world's changing, our definition of work changes here. We want to get down to what makes us happy and why we do what we do. Because ultimately, we should be getting paid for being ourselves at the end of the day. Now, whatever way you contribute, whatever way you like to grow and live life, that would be what affects your gratitude towards work versus somebody else. So I will just do general category. If I was going to expand on relationships from jobs and careers, it could be a mix of what quote-unquote positive and negative. My first boss at the theater actually inspired me to be better. I worked my way up from concessions to associate manager. When I say first boss, I mean the head honcho, because there's a lot of managers at a movie theater, honestly, if you haven't worked one. But most jobs will have bosses and supervisors and a whole hierarchy. So whatever boss means to you, you could put down a specific person's name or not on your own gratitude journey. Just for privacy, I'm not going to name names, but if anyone finds this, you probably know who you are. I doubt they're watching this. It's okay. But just I left that job after 4 years. I thought it was going to be my career. We joked that, not so joke, but it was more of a negative joke about being a lifer at the theater, and no one really wants that. But, just having a stable career is what I was looking for. And then this kind of almost taught me that, jobs are not permanent, but that's actually a good thing. So I'm going to say non-permanence, if I can spell. And that is a good thing to me. Going back to my boss, he was the first one, when I was leaving, actually gave me a gift and was like, "I'm sorry to see you go," kind of thing. Other bosses haven't done that and have no care in the world if you come or go. But finding someone who legitimately wants you to succeed in life, even if it's not there at that place, just the conversation we had at the end, that's what I'm grateful for. Again, I'm not going to go into specifics right now, but that's just for me. That relationship may have been my only good, not my only good boss experience, but at least my first one. And then I've had other good bosses, but I've had some lifelong acquaintances and friends from jobs. I'd write down people's names here and kind of expand on each one I've developed. Again, just for privacy. I'm actually not going to share this. I don't know why I'm feeling like I shouldn't say names. And that's okay. On your paper, please expand your way. If there's a specific person that has inspired you at work, put it down and say the why. But the whys will be just, friendship, understanding. I don't really want to focus on communal suffering or anything at work, but there is a bond that forms, trauma bonds almost. Again, we're not going to focus on that. It's kind of a joke. We want to keep our gratitude journey positive and actually, again, cultivating what we want more back from the universe. So I would just focus on the good qualities that I've met in people. Surviving work sometimes is all you can get through and be grateful for. I've had jobs like that. It's okay. Just in life in general, like just being alive may be your only gratitude for a certain situation. Just making money to pay your rent may be all you're grateful for a specific job, and that's okay. I'll go ahead and write down money, obviously, opportunities that come with that, and also just bills paid. That's a positive of having a job and career. Tomorrow we're going to expand on money more, so if you want to start diving into what money opportunities bring for you in terms of careers and jobs, go for it. We're going to expand a little bit different on that tomorrow. But as for like the non-permanence, just I'm jumping around, kind of shows me that I'm capable of anything. Even if jobs ends rather suddenly, unexpectedly, I've been able to jump back into it, bounce back, and everything at the end of the day is okay. So even like in personal growth and whatnot, just knowing that not all jobs last forever at the back of your mind, it kind of gives you that opportunity for growth and appreciating that experience more, because it's not going to last for the rest of your life. It can be kind of boring and mundane and cyclical if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, just to pay rent or whatnot. So I'm very grateful for change and growth. It's not something I was grateful for at the beginning of my gratitude journey. It's one of those experiences you're going to have to live through, do a lot of mental exercises, physical, spiritual research, and feelings, and kind of come to your own conclusion that, change is good for you. But change is also scary, and yeah, I know. So I would just try to, if you're doing your bubble, just try to expand on anything, jobs, work, giving back. I've been in customer service for so long. There's been good customer service and bad customer service on both sides of the table, I'm sure. But I can point to some specific examples about customer service I've given and helped. I've learned, I think, these skills, personal skills and development is a big one. A lot of it is patience. I've learned a lot of patience dealing with people. Also just kind of figuring out what I want, seeing what other people have and how people are. Kind of makes your self-gratitude boost a little bit, because you're kind of figuring out like who you want to be, and who you don't want to be. And that's important experiences to have in life. A lot of it happens at jobs and careers. You meet people, have experiences, you do things that you have to grow from, even like new skills, which is a lot. I mean, basic cashiering, which there's math involved, there's critical thinking. As a manager, the responsibility of counting at the end of the day, depositing money, going to the bank, those kind of things, responsibility and accountability. Just growing up, fresh out of teenage years, going to work, like these are like big things you learn, and you're kind of like maybe culture shocked at first, things, but you work up to these things. Just general responsibility, like my social skills have improved considerably, like having to talk to people, quote unquote having, again, there's no obligations, no shoulds, no haves, but the brain's like, well, if we have to do this, how's it gonna go? How are we gonna react to it? So you can list all of the skills you've learned at jobs, and driving a forklift, operating, machinery. If you drive a car, like a service or anything, driving service, even Ubers, is like, what did you learn from that? What are you learning from that kind of job? And not just like the driving skills. Maybe you're better at traffic, navigating, GPS, using your intuition to find the better route in the moment instead of, following your GPS. Those are relevant skills. I mean, my intuition has definitely grown with people. Again, it just kind of all comes in together. But yeah, just trying to follow your train of thought here. What have you learned from work? In the good ways, right? We don't want to focus on the negatives again, but just kind of focus on everything work and job growth, and love and respect, and the positives you get from it. Again, if it's just money, if you're just you learn nothing else, whatever job you have is just so mundane, you just have to go there just to pay your bills. I mean, that's something. I get it. But try to look beyond that. The job may actually suck. I mean, I've worked a lot of jobs I hated, and I really did not want to be there, no matter what the money was. So you got to take a step back and beyond the have to be there. Are you actually learning and growing anything? Is there anything to be grateful for beyond the surface level of having to work? That's what we want to explore today. Now, if you want to go the advanced route and just kind of skip that, we're going to do a hypothetical. So what would you do if money were no object? All of your basic needs were met. You have a nice home already. You have all the food and beverage you want just there. Maybe you have a personal chef, just go nuts. You don't actually have to do anything, right? You have all of your needs met. But now the question is, what do you do? What are you doing with your life? And so we want to change our concept of work a little bit. Because right now it's, we have to go to a job, pay bills before, we die. And that's not the mentality that we can have for the rest of our life. We can change that a little bit, and expand and give ourselves the possibility of more, of better. Especially if you're looking for a new job or a better job, more suitable job for yourself that'll make you actually happy, this is something to explore. So what would you do if money were no object? Let's say that you've already traveled the world too, You've done everything fun already. Maybe from now you just got, Elon Musk type of money deposited into your account. You do whatever you want with your life, right? You've done it. You've done all the fun things. You have a nice house, you have the bed sheets you want, you have the perfect temperature, everything. You don't have to pay for any of these things, right? It's just there. But what are you going to do with your life? What do you do? Are you going to paint? Do you like to paint, draw, write, fix up cars? Just work on a car, build a car. Do you want to be a professional traveler? I mean, you've traveled everywhere. You've seen every part of the world you've already done. Do you want to go back and do it again? Why? Trying to get down to, if you didn't have to do anything in life, right? You didn't have to pay bills. What would you do? And that's kind of a work and doing something. It's kind of synonymous here. It's trying to expand our concept of work and getting paid for being ourselves, and actually enjoying life. So what would you do? I mean, would you try to learn every language in the world to communicate with people? I mean, maybe you've traveled and it's you really want to go deeper. And you realize that, that's how you do it. You want to be able to communicate in their languages. Maybe you want to just play video games for the rest of your life? Why? Do you want to build a video game? Would you create one if you could? Like, you had the software. Again, this includes everything. You mean, if you want to be a painter, you had unlimited access to paint, brushes, canvas, anything you needed. Right? If you want to be a writer, you have the best computer, the best tablets. If you want 20 million phones to write on, like all of that is already in your life, right? You have everything you need, and everything you want to do, everything you need for that, you already have. That's what this expansive experience is for. So it's like, if you could do anything, like if you want to be a painter, then write down everything that you would need for being, a painter, or just like mental exercise. You know what you need, and then just knowing that you have it. Do you want to study more math and science, architecture? You want to be a leader? Governments hypothetically still exist here. Humanity always needs leaders. So what would you do with your time, right? What would you consider doing as in work? But even if everything was already taken care of and paid for in life. So it's just kind of like expanding your concept of work. Getting beyond the, I have to do this for money, right? What would you want to do? If money were no object, if money didn't exist even, can you imagine that kind of world? I think the whole structure would change. But if the structure was the same and we didn't have to worry about money, what would you do? Would you actually want to, work at Starbucks and make coffee for people, even if it was, no one had to do that, right? I would still appreciate that for someone who actually wants to make coffee. There's a lot of coffee artists out there, and it brings them joy. I worked as a barista for a little bit, and I like certain coffees. I'm not into all those 20 million ingredient TikTok drinks. I love you guys, but I'm sorry. When you work that, it's not as fun. But if you're on the other side ordering that and drinking it, then yeah, it's something to be grateful for. But that's how we get beyond that. If you're not a coffee maker kind of person, I'm more of a writer. I'm happy playing video games, If I had nothing to do in my life, if I had the ability to go anywhere, do anything, education was free because we have to learn a lot of these skills. I'd want to learn how to make my own video game. I used to play the RPG Maker on the original PlayStation when I was a kid. I was making my own video games. They don't really make those kind of things anymore. But, besides, I don't know, Sims or something, you can kind of customize your own life. But, from the back end, I would love to learn coding and all that and just create, I'd love to just create games and send them out to people and just inspire creativity and fun, because that's what inspires me. So that's what I mean. Find what makes you happy and what you'd want to do for work, but it's not work, because you don't get money, there's no exchange other than that kind of happiness, support, a collective support. We're all different people for a reason, and we all like different things for a reason, and somehow society works well, because we're all doing the things that we love and want to do. So just expand. There's no limits here. Feel free to even go into the supernatural. Do you want to be a vampire or a werewolf? There was no money and it was possible. Would you just want to be a vampire? What would you do as a vampire? Besides sleeping all day, what would you do at night? That kind of thing. If you didn't have to do anything, even as a vampire, right? Be crazy. What would you do as a dragon? You want to be super metaphysical and weird, but dial it back to humanity, right? I'm just trying to tell you, it doesn't matter what you're imagining. Try to focus on what you would actually do, right? You had all the time, you had all the money already taken care of. If you need to learn something, maybe it's like the Matrix movie, instant download, you just learn it, right? Let's just get kind of that crazy hypothetical fiction. But actually humanity, right? So what would you do? That is a personal question. Kind of like take your gratitude for work and careers and having to work to a whole new level. Because if you don't have to do anything at the end of the day, what would you want to do? And, if you figure out, you want to be the painter, you could write down everything a painter would be grateful for. Because again, we want to invite that energy in. You can write down paint brushes, the people you find across the globe that would love this painting, that would inspire them. Those kind of things. So whatever you want to expand on, it's for you. But pick something and really explore and get down to what makes you happy in life. If you had to do something and you would give it back to the world collectively to help everybody, being in service doesn't have to be like the customer service that we know day to day. But just being in service to yourself and humanity, what would you do? What would make you happy? Even if you want to write novels, people read novels like me, just providing free books to everybody, free stories, that could be your thing. If you'd like to garden, not just food production, but, flowers, even like growing bouquets of flowers and just handing them out to people just to brighten their day. If you didn't need money, they didn't need money, but that was your love of life, that's what you'd want to do, quote unquote do. That's your work. Growing flowers, harvesting them, preparing arrangements, and handing them out. That would be considered work. But your money's taken care of, their money's taken care of. It's just a bonus of the universe. You're just sharing what you love and who you are with the world. And that's what this exercise is about. So again, focus on, you can do the expansion grid for your job, careers, what you're thankful for. Kind of focus on those skill developments, positive relationships, any kind of opportunities you have to connect with humanity. Again, service. That one would be more like what you were paid to do and had to do in a way, but that you actually enjoyed doing, and it was part of your giving soul or whatever personality trait you have that you enjoy doing that. But then do the hypothetical. If money didn't exist and there was no real jobs, but still society functioned as it was, what would you love to do? If you had everything taken care of, again, what would you do with your life? So change your concept of work, expand on it, get to love what you do and who you are, and I will see you tomorrow, and we're going to expand on money specifically. Thank you.